So first up, you might have heard me talking about this in one of my other videos. This is the first thing I read whenever I thought I might be autistic, because it says, I think I might be autistic. It's a great guide for where to go from that realization. And it's a really short, easy read. You can get it on Amazon. I'll post a link to all these in the description. This might be my favorite autism author. Her name is Maxine Aston. She's got a really outdated website that I will post in the description, but I love it and it has incredible articles in it. If you've met one autistic person, you've met one autistic person, because we're all completely different and our experiences are completely different. I've read some books where I'm like, this isn't really relating to me. I experience the world totally differently. But Maxine Aston, oh my gosh, when I read her stuff, it's like she's reading my mail. Particularly Aspergers and love. This is so good for me. It's a great exploration of sensory needs and intimacy, marriage, relationships, that kind of thing, and just how it pertains to people on the autism spectrum. A little while ago, they just included Asperger's and the autism spectrum disorder. Some people think the distinction is still important, but regardless, these books are helpful for people on the spectrum. This is the other half of Asperger syndrome and Asperger's in love. This is also great for my partner to read, who is neurotypical, bless his heart. And she also has several other books. This is an autobiographical account of Katherine May. It's a fascinating story. She decides that she's going to set out to walk the 630-mile southwest coast path. And it's her story of that journey, but along the journey, she discovers that she's autistic because of a random program that she heard on the radio. This is another one of those accounts where when I read it, I was like, the way that you experience autism is the way that I experience autism. It's very similar. Did I say the title out loud? The Electricity of Every Living Thing by Katherine May. All right, I overcame my autism and all I got was this lousy anxiety disorder. This is by Sarah Kerchak, and I think she's also on Instagram. Not finished it yet, but so far it's great. She has a very different experience of autism than I do. I think she might be a little bit more creative-minded than I am. I'm very black and white. She's funny. She's got great stories. Organizes it by short essays that all explore a variety of topics, so it's a really cool read. All right, if you haven't read anything by Temple Grandin, I think that she's kind of our unofficial autism superhero. She's written so much about autism. There's been a movie made about her. She contributes so much to the field of research. She speaks about autism, she teaches about it, and her brain is just incredible. So pick up any book that she has written, but I started with The Autistic Brain by Temple Grandin. She has some really good practical recommendations, and she gets into like the brain and how the brain is structured in an autistic person, which is really, really fascinating. I think personally, I experience autism in a lot of different ways than she does. Like I feel like mine kind of presents differently, but there's still so much wisdom that this woman has to offer, and I'm so grateful for all of the contributions that she has given to the autism community. Okay, this is not an autism book, but I'm going to add it to the list anyway. This has become my new Aspie Bible. It doesn't mention autism once, but it's called Who You Were Meant to Be by Lindsay C. Gibson. I am a fangirl. I have fan mailed her and she mailed me back yesterday, so I'm still kind of on a high from that. But this is one of those books, I read a lot of psychology because that's one of my special interests that I devour. She's one of those authors where when you read it, you don't feel like she's trying to convince you of anything, you just feel like she's writing complete truth. For me, this is a great guide for getting back into my body. I think a lot of times people on the spectrum, we kind of get used to camouflaging and becoming somebody else in social situations. So this is a really good guide back to who we are, discovering what our real desires are, how we really want to interact in the world. I've never read anything like it. I highly recommend. And I love the cover, right? This was written a while ago, but there's a beautiful updated cover with like mountains and stuff that you might prefer, but I kind of like this cover. It's nostalgic. I like it. Again, not an autism book, but you might find that autism is comorbid with other symptoms. I have OCD symptoms that I've dealt with, and this book, Brain Lock, also another amazing cover. Thank you, 80s, early 90s maybe. This was a fantastic book on how to manage OCD symptoms and cope with them. I read this probably like 6 to 8 years ago. I still use the tips and tricks that I learned about in this book. Okay, again, not about autism, but I love this man. I love Dr. Daniel Amen. His field of study is SPECT scans, single photon emitting computerized topography, something like that. I'm just going to go with it, something like that. He studies the brain in such fascinating detail in ways that not many other people have. You cannot change autism, like you can't get rid of it, but this is a really great book that shows you how our environment, how our food, how our experiences shape our brain. He highlights the things that we can control that make a difference on our brain and our mental health. He has a a very strong online presence. He does Q&As on his Facebook all the time. I've actually interacted with him there as well. No big deal. I just love everything that he comes out with. I believe on his website he does have a program that you can pay for that's his teaching on autism. I haven't done it yet. It's on my wish list. He also has a book on, he has typified, is that the right word? 7 different types of ADHD that are just amazingly accurate. And he goes into detail about what types of supplementation, what types of diet work for the different types of ADHD. It's fascinating, and he has the brain scans to back up the 7 different types of ADHD that he has typified, organized, categorized, whatever you want to call it. That book, I think, is called Healing ADHD. I've read that one too. So anything by Daniel Amen, if you're a geek like me and like studying neuroscience, the brain, all of that. Okay, and then last but not least, if you're autistic, you've probably heard the term highly sensitive person before. Elaine Aron, I believe, is the one who first did the research on that, or first published the research on highly sensitive people. I read this book because my 4-year-old might be the first link that I ever had to me having autism. I needed help figuring out how to help my 4-year-old beautiful son. And this book has a lot of great tips for sensory processing and just coping with sensory needs in a very neurotypical world. I am a reader. I have psychology books on my nightstand. My husband's always like, how can you go to bed after reading nonfiction like that? He's over there reading his, sci-fi novels. I'm just over there like underlining every single word that Dr. Amen has ever written. I just love it. So if you have any other books that you want to recommend, any stories or authors that have really stood out to you and how you relate to autism, I would love to hear it. I always love supporting autistic authors. I'm not going to lie, sometimes I just buy a book by an autistic author just because I want to support them. So please share those links in the comments and make sure that you subscribe. I think I need to point this way. There's like a little circle that's going to appear over here, and it's free. And if you click that button, that really helps me continue to make free content for you, which I love doing. Being neurodiverse, I really believe, is a gift, although I know sometimes it's so challenging, but stick with it. I'm here to help. Let me know if you have any suggestions for future videos, and I hope you have a great day.